Good God, I look hideous with all my pimples and zits. Oh well, that's unfortunately the life of a teenager. Except I won't be a teenager for long. I'll be an adult soon. I can't keep it straight! Oh, looks like I'm about to tear up. Anyways, I would be playing the Ghostbusters theme song for this review. Well, quadruple review, but can't cause copyright. But actually, though, I won't be a teenager for long, as I'm gonna be an adult in like a few days from now. In about 2-3 weeks? I don't know. Also, looks like I've been up late, haven't I? Well, that's because I just beat Spider-Man last night on my PlayStation. Wait a second! I'm not talking about that! Oh, hold up! I got that review saved for when I beat both games, as I still gotta play Miles Morales and then Spider-Man 2, which I'm looking forward to hopping on to that game again, as I've played that twice as of right now. With that being said, hello everyone, welcome back to another movie review on the channel. Only this time, I'm going to be reviewing 4 freaking movies in one video, so this is my first quadruple movie review. I've done a few double movie reviews, I've done a few triple movie reviews, and now I'm doing double trailer reactions when I'm trying to avoid making triple trailer reactions, but I feel like that's inevitable at this point. And suddenly I have made a triple trailer reaction. Or quadruple trailer reaction. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm just fine doing double trailer reactions because I feel like triple trailer reactions and quadruple trailer reactions are just a bit pointless. Unless necessary, there's like a crap ton of trailers. Oh great, maybe I might end up doing quadruple trailer reactions. Unless there's going to be one trailer that I'm going to want to do separate, depending what the preview will be. But that's not the point. The point is just that... Anyway, so how am I going to do this? Where I review all 4 movies in one video? That's a good question. This is what I had going on in my head, so I'm basically am going to talk about 2 movies at once, double movie review style. I'm going to do Ghostbusters 1 to 2, and then Afterlife and Frozen Empire. And if you've not seen my movie vlog, which apologies that I did not got to upload that around Friday. Friday was a bit of an exhausting day for me, and I just needed a nap. You know, because of school and stuff, but I am, like, trying to make sure I get some of my work turned in, because I'm graduating this year. And that's fine. They'll get to graduate. I don't know. That is freaking me out. So though, with that being said, let's just start off with Ghostbusters 1 to 2. But before I even talk about my thoughts on both films, let's talk about some background history between me and the Ghostbusters franchise. So yeah, I don't know when I became a Ghostbusters fan, but yeah, I basically have been a fan of it since I saw the first movie. And I definitely saw the first 2 around my childhood. I'm betting that the first 2 Ghostbusters movies were at least part of my childhood, even though they came out way before I was born. But I definitely enjoyed the theme song the most, which I still do to this day. Like, it's really that damn catchy. It's a catchy theme song. But yeah, I have been a huge fan of Ghostbusters for a while now, and I know I've been wanting to have a 3rd movie, and technically we do have 5 movies if you include the 2016 Ghostbusters, which would be the 3rd entry in the franchise, even though that's totally not connected to the main universe. And when am I going to do a review of that? Around this July, on the day it was released, which I'm betting was July 16th? I don't know, I have to double check, but yeah, I didn't even bother watching that in preparation for Frozen Empire, because I just watched the main movies in the timeline. But yeah, you'll know my thoughts on that once I have the chance to watch that this July. But yeah, again, that's not part of the universe, as we only have 4, even though we only have 5, but 4 in the main universe. But apparently we're getting an animated Ghostbusters movie, which I completely forgot about, actually. But yeah, again, you'll know my thoughts and experience that I had with the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. But we did end up getting a 3rd Ghostbusters movie, but we'll talk about Afterlife and Frozen Empire later. Let's just talk about my general thoughts with Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. Alright, now I gotta say this right off the bat, as this has kind of hit me like a while ago when I was watching these movies. The whole concept about exterminators for ghosts, just Ghostbusters, the whole concept in general. It's a very interesting concept that I enjoy very much, because you call exterminators for ghosts. You have real-life exterminators with rats or bugs, but for here, you have exterminators for ghosts. Therefore, Ghostbusters. I don't know, it's just a really interesting concept, and I could go on just explaining how I feel about it, but I can't, because I don't know how to explain stuff well. But what are my thoughts with the first movie? After having to see Frozen Empire, and you all will see my ranking of all 5 Ghostbusters movies by the end of this review. Yeah, this is definitely the best one in the series, because 1, it's a classic. Come on. Like, at this point, I now want to do, like, a top 10 list of top 10 classic movies that I'm aware of. I mean, I know there's more than 10 classic movies, but just, like, no, like, Ghostbusters is a classic movie here. Same can go for Jurassic Park or E.T. or Star Wars, which would be Episode 4, A New Hope. But no, the first movie was just a lot of fun to watch, but also a hilarious movie. Definitely all of these Ghostbusters movies are hilarious movies, even though they have little bits of scary elements here and there, but overall they are funny. But yeah, again, this movie will forever be a classic, and I really do like the cast in this movie, especially Bill Murray, who, yeah, I now can't help but imagine him as Garfield, because anytime he speaks, my head will now imagine him as Garfield, because he was the voice actor for the first two Garfield movies, which, holy crap, now that I think about it, that may be my next quadruple movie review after this, because we have a new Garfield movie coming out this May, and there are 2 live-action movies, but 2 anime movies that are apparently part of the other 2 movies? I don't know. That's just something I saw last I checked. I'll have to double-check, but now I just gave myself an idea for my next quadruple movie review. Oh, good Lord. Okay, back to topic. But yeah, standouts for me are just the 4 Ghostbusters in here, or more specifically, Bill Murray, but still, I do like the 4 Ghostbuster members, along with the other cast members, like Sigourney Weaver as Dina, and Louis, how is his name pronounced? I know it starts with an L. Oh god, I know his name starts with an L. It's that nerdy dude with the glasses that I think has a small, or most likely a huge crush on Dina, that are kind of like neighbors in the apartment. It isn't Louis, is it? It's probably Louis. I don't know. So though, Louis is a funny character in both Ghostbusters films. But again, I do like the whole concept with the Ghostbusters, just exterminators just chasing down ghosts and exterminating them. And I give this movie a 10 out of 10, but I saw a few, like, nitpicks here and there or something. I don't know. My rating, I'm, like, back and forth about. I mean, I do love this movie overall. Just, I don't know. I'm just, like, back and forth with my rating. I could just give this a 10 out of 10 as it's just my personal opinion, but I'm just trying to not give everything a 10 out of 10. You know, just be fair with my ratings. Even though I should just give them whatever rating I want. You know, because it's my personal opinion. I don't know. That's just how I work, I guess. But yeah, I don't know if I could recall any nitpicks I have with the movie. I guess I wish Winston had a lot more screen time in here. I mean, he does get recruited later on in the movie, but I feel like he didn't have much screen time, but just was tagged along right after, like, last minute or something. I mean, I do appreciate the runtime he gets in the second movie, but yeah, I felt like I didn't get enough screen time in here, I guess. That could probably be a slight nitpick. I don't think I have negatives other than the second movie, but just nitpicks here and there for the first one. Now, if we're talking about characters I absolutely hated in these movies, it's these 2 ding-dongs. But yeah, this movie is definitely perfect around the Halloween season, especially the second one. I mean, all Ghostbusters movies are perfect for around the Halloween season. But the final battle is definitely memorable, but also a classic one, because all Ghostbusters go up against a giant marshmallow man. The final act of the movie is probably what I enjoyed the most, but yeah, I really do enjoy this movie, and my rating for the first one is either an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Again, I'm back and forth with my rating, but yeah, Ghostbusters will forever be a classic. As for number 2, I'd say this is my least favorite, but y'all will know what's really my least favorite, even though I do enjoy all 5 Ghostbusters movies. Yes, I enjoy the 2016 one that has all women dressed up in Ghostbuster outfits. Y'all will know my thoughts once I cover a review for that this July. But yeah, Ghostbusters 2 is kind of a step down compared to the first movie. And I don't understand why I, for some reason, enjoy this a lot more than, like, I don't know. Either I'm going crazy, or for some reason, I like this a lot more than the first one. Not that I thought this movie was better than the first one, but just that. Compare it to how I felt with Spider-Man 3, as that was like my most favorite, but now that I'm older, I can see how poorly made that was thanks to studio interference from Sony. I don't know, I'm like, why did I enjoy this a lot more than the first one? Because the first one is kind of better than the second one, as this is a step down compared to the first movie. Now, I could say that this is a letdown because there's some dumb moments in here, but technically there are like a few dumb moments throughout the Ghostbusters movies. I guess there's just some moments that just didn't work with me for Ghostbusters 2. So let's just start with pros and cons I have in here. So pros, I enjoyed seeing the gang come back to hunt some ghosts, or in other words, bust some ghosts. Oh, dear God, that's gonna come out so wrong. Also, Dina does have a baby in this movie, and I just gotta say, Oscar is such an adorable little baby. I mean, technically all babies are cute. As I said earlier, Luis, I don't know how his name was pronounced. I'm just gonna call him Nerdy Glasses. I'm sorry. I just suck at not only remembering names, but also just having trouble pronouncing them. For some reason, I've said this before, and I will say it again. I don't know why I can't remember names well, but for some reason, I'm going to remember a face. So, I'm just gonna call him Nerdy Glasses. I'm sorry, I can't, I mean, I know his name, something is like Louis something, I just can't pronounce it right, but, again, like, as I've said earlier, he was funny in this movie as he was in the first one, and I did found him and Gina to be adorable, as they're like a cute couple in this movie, which I'm a little confused about. Wasn't she into Egon in the first movie, or am I just going crazy? Actually, let me look up the love interest. Throughout most Ghostbusters media, Gina is often displayed as having a romantic attraction to Egon Spengler. This is shown in the original movie in the 2021 film Ghostbusters Afterlife, but more prominently in the real Ghostbusters. Huh! So she was attracted to Egon. Why the hell did she quickly move on to Nerdy Glasses in the second one? Now, I could say that him being in this movie was kind of just pointless. So, like, no, what was the point of him being in this movie? But honestly, I'm a landslide, because it was nice seeing him pop up in here again. And I just realized I didn't talk much about the Ghostbusters films, which we're gonna get to that in a sec once I talk about number 4. But as for Gozer from the first movie, yeah, classic Ghostbusters villain. But for is it Vegan or no, it's Vigo. Ego. Oh my God. I got the names mixed up. I will say this. Vigo most likely probably creeped the shit out of me as a kid. I mean, that painting just... You can't tell me that him just staring at you like that gives you the creeps. Now, I wouldn't say he was like a good villain in here, or a bad one either. I don't know. Maybe he was menacing for me when I was a kid, but he'll most likely be a menacing villain for kids to scare, because he's quite a scary villain, because he's after a baby in order for him to be brought back, like, as a vessel and stuff. But yeah, Vigo most likely creeped me out as a kid. As for the cons, I was not a fan of how they started this movie out with the Ghostbusters being out of business. I don't know, I mean, and so, like, that's a trope that sometimes works for me, depending what movie it is, but, like, no, it's just... I just was not a fan of how they started out with this movie, with them just being out of business, and that the team had just kind of split up, went their separate ways. Sorta. I mean, they still kept in contact, just didn't do ghost busting because they went out of business. And as I've said earlier, there were some dumb moments here that didn't work for me, but I was kind of annoyed about this henchman character that has a major crush on Dina than what Nerdy Glasses had in the first movie, as he was innocent. Bro wanted to marry her. And basically asked Vigo if, oh, Vigo, could I have the lady be my wife while you keep the baby and stuff? Well, Vigo just be like, so be it. She will be your wife and she will be my mother. So I was not a fan of that henchman dude that, I mean, he was possessed by Vigo, the... whatever names you guys got, tons of names. As for the two characters I hated from both movies, well, hated their guts. For him, he's responsible for letting the ghosts out on the loose because he didn't like Venkman's comment about him having no dick. I'm about to bleep that out. But yeah, bro really took anything that came out of Venkman's mouth personally and just wanted to shut the whole Ghostbusters building down. Scratch that. Firehouse. It's called the Firehouse. Still, he blames the Ghostbusters, yet it's on him for letting them loose onto the city, you dumbass. As for him, he's probably more of a dumbass than this guy, because he just thinks these guys are just a bunch of bozos, crazy heads or something. I mean, honestly, he doesn't like them. And once they tried to warn the mayor about the slime feeding on negative energy, which, by the way, I did like the whole thing about the slime. I mean, I did found that a bit dumb in here, as I would say that was like one of my least favorites from Ghostbusters 2, but at the same time, I did like the concept about how it would feed on positive and negative energy. Oh, baby. I'm sorry. I had to do that thing that Peter did in the movie because that was hilarious. The way he just was like, oh, baby, and it just reacted. Again, these movies are hilarious. But yeah, the standout goes to Bill Murray for both movies. Like, he just was the standout for me out of all the Ghostbusters members. But no, what this guy did, he put them into a psychic ward. And just like, no, that pissed me off. But I'm glad he got his ass fired from the mayor. Like, he deserved that. I was just satisfied to see his ass get fired. Also, I didn't even mention about Slimer in here. He's kind of a fan favorite of the Ghostbusters movies. While I liked his design in the first one, his second one, I am not a huge fan of it. Now, no way, I don't think he popped up in the third movie. He does come back for the fourth one. I'm a bit mixed about his design in the fourth movie, but I'd say it's better than the second movie's design. I don't know. I just was not a fan of his design in the second movie. As for Slimer in the 2016 one, okay, moving on. So, even though this is a bit of a letdown compared to the first movie, I still like it. So, my rating is going to be like either a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10 for me. Anyways, now that we've talked about both Ghostbusters movies, let's move on to the new Ghostbuster movies we've gotten, which will be Afterlife and Frozen Empire, which I definitely have a lot to say for Frozen Empire, as I definitely have a lot to say about Frozen Empire, as I'm definitely going to be dumping spoilers, but let's talk about Afterlife, which, yes, I did do a movie review 3 years ago. I cannot remember if it was spoiler-free or spoilers, but I don't even remember what I said exactly in there, because I've only seen Afterlife twice. One in theaters, then just second time was recently. I can't believe I didn't watch this again afterwards. But yeah, around 2019, they released a teaser trailer for Ghostbusters 3, and I was confused what it was, but once they revealed summer 2020, I'm like, whoa, wait, is this actually real? This isn't fan-made, right? Is this fan-made? Is this real? I don't know. I remember seeing the teaser trailer for this. I was confused as heck because I thought this was a sequel to the 2016 Ghostbusters, but it seemed to me it was actually a teaser for Ghostbusters 3. And yeah, we did get the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife, and yeah, this movie was supposed to come out around July 2020, but got delayed due to the pandemic and was released in November 2021. I already explained this in my movie vlog for Ghostbusters Afterlife if you haven't seen that, which was like 3 years ago. But yeah, I know that for a while I wanted to see a third Ghostbusters movie with the original game. Now, obviously, well, they are in the movie just as like cameos, you know, because it's based on nostalgia and stuff. As this is a legacy sequel, but I'm like back and forth on which is the best in the. Well, it was a trilogy, but now we have the fourth movie, so we got like a saga going on. I don't know which is the best. I mean, I know what I have in my number one in the ranking, but I'm back and forth if I go with the first one or the third one, because like the third one was amazing. This movie was such a good legacy sequel for the Ghostbusters franchise. And if they did make a third one, I would have loved how they pulled that off with the original game, but obviously things changed during times, but I have this thought in my head that involves Egon being in this movie, who, by the way, the actor did pass away a couple of years ago, even before the 2016 Ghostbusters came out, which is why he didn't cameo in that movie, which I was wondering why I didn't see a cameo of him in there until I found out, oh, he passed away! But still, we'll talk about that again around July. But no, I liked what they pulled off with the storyline for Egon, since, you know, the actor had passed away, but, like, they still were able to kind of bring him in here for the third movie through CGI and stuff. I don't know, kind of like a similar situation with Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Obviously, both are different, like, two different things. I feel have, like, a similarity, but both are totally different. I mean, T'Challa didn't really pop up in Wakanda Forever for obvious personal reasons, but still, you get what I'm trying to say. But no, I really did enjoy what they pulled off here with the Egon storyline, which I'll admit, I did not like how everyone else in this movie were, like, hating the dude's guts, just crapping on him for what he did, which, what was he doing in this movie? Trying to make sure that ghosts don't take over the world and stuff, and he did die doing it in the process. But his grandkids finished the job. Speaking of which, I do like the new characters we have for this movie, which would be Phoebe and Trevor, along with their mom, who would be Egon's daughter, but also Paul Rudd, because who doesn't love Paul Rudd? Also, if I had not said this in my movie review for Afterlife 3 years ago, Podcast is still the MVP of this movie. But flowers to McKenna Grace for this movie, because she was just the star of this movie. I mean, technically she is kind of like the main character, but No, she just was a scene stealer in this movie. As she's obviously a talented actress in both Afterlife and Frozen Empire. But no, I really did enjoy her character arc throughout this entire movie. But I did also enjoy seeing the OGs come back around like the final battle of the movie, which was great. And I will agree with Dad. Can you compare the 2016 one with this one?
Oh my god, this one is way better.
This movie is definitely better than the 2016 Ghostbusters. And I liked seeing the OGs than how they were brought into the 2016 one, because I was not a fan of how they were brought into this 2016 one. Mainly with Bill Murray's character. If you know, you know. Although I will say, it was a bit odd that they brought back the same villain for this movie. Although I'm not complaining. I just found that to be odd. Also, I completely forgot that J.K. Simmons was in this movie. And he got ripped in half by Gozer. I'm like, what the Jesus Christ! And during that whole sequence, that everything was happening so fast, like, oh, okay, whoa, slow down a bit. It feels like we're just rushing into things just to get this movie done or something. But yeah, technically, movies have done that before where they reuse same villains, like, for example, the Sonic movies with Dr. Robotnik, as I'm pretty sure he's going to be the main villain again for the third Sonic movie. But yeah, there were so many great callbacks and Easter eggs to the first two Ghostbusters movies in here. Like, no, this was just a fantastic legacy sequel. And this was definitely one of my favorite movies that was released in 2021. As I mentioned, this was on my top 10 best movies of 2021. That was definitely a fun experience since we saw it in debugs where we basically just feel like we're in the movie. Like, say, for example, there's a car sequence going on involving the Ecto one. I forgot that. I know the Ghostbusters car has a name. Why can't I remember the name? But still, while they were chasing down Muncher throughout town, we felt like as if we were in the car with them. Like, no, the debugs experience was pretty fun. Also, props to McKenna Grace for her song that was featured in this movie, which I heard it a while back and I was like, I feel like this is going to be part of her new Ghostbusters film. I don't know. But then once the post-credit scenes were over, they started playing the song like, oh, they added in the movie. I really do enjoy the song. So yeah, props to her for having her song featured in the movie. But yeah, my rating for the movie, either a 9 out of 10 or actually, what did I give it? Oh crap, I didn't even put a rating on my letterbox thing. I'm gonna have to update that, but I basically gave this a 10 out of 10 because this is a really well-made legacy sequel. Anyways, now Frozen Empire. I have so much I want to say, so I'm about to speed run through this. So if you haven't seen Frozen Empire, go check that out because I'm gonna be dumping spoilers in here. But once you've seen the movie, just come back in here once you're finished with it. So yeah, 3 years I've waited for Frozen Empire thanks to the post-credit scene teases, and as I mentioned in my movie vlog, I had a good time with this movie. Now, I could slightly see the criticisms that were mentioned in this movie, and where there were, like, too many characters in this movie, and that the third act is a bit messy. Maybe the third act's a bit messy. There's definitely a few pros and cons. Mainly just pros for me, slightly a few cons here and there. Mainly with just, I guess, a little bit of the third act, but also a cliche trope involving something here that I'm going to bring up in a sec. But what I enjoyed about Frozen Empire was that they basically expanded the whole universe with the lore and everything. Like, no, that's just something that I enjoyed the most. To where I want to see more Ghostbusters movies, especially after this one. And they did mention that this was treated as if this was an episode for the real Ghostbusters, which I cannot tell if I saw that show as a kid or not. But yeah, definitely one of the pros I had was the world building and the lore being expanded with the Ghostbusters universe. As they have like a secret facility, they do some testing with some ghosts as they have trapped in like an abandoned zoo. But another thing they did that I will applaud for them, they basically took some risks here as they did some things that, oh, okay, wasn't expecting that. And that would be Phoebe befriends a ghost in this movie that I just want to recognize the actress from somewhere, which I think would be the Babysitter movies on Netflix. I was like, whoa, okay, this is different. Okay. But then, like, we had, like, a similar situation with Egon being as a ghost in the last one, which that was still shocking, but also awesome seeing him in the last movie. And I did thought they were going to bring him back in here, but nope. Phoebe just befriends a ghost, which... Here's a slight nitpick about this whole friendship. They use a similar trope where she is working with the bad guy for this movie, and she betrays her later on. Like, yeah, that'll probably be one of the things I was annoyed with. That's gonna be a nitpick. But not gonna lie, I was getting like some gay vibes here and there. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like some folks are gonna be like, oh, two girls like each other, or so. I don't know. I just know some folks are gonna be a-holes about it. Well, I know some folks are gonna be quite interested in it. Not gonna lie, I was kind of going for it. Like, why do I feel like I kind of want them to kiss, even though one's dead and one isn't dead? But it didn't happen as she went on to the afterlife to meet up with her family. But oh, another thing. This one probably shocked me the most. I'm like, okay, this is almost jumping the shark or something. I don't know if I'd say this as a nitpick, but Phoebe goes into this machine and she's a ghost for 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, what the? Oh my, okay. What? How is this possible? Oh, okay, we've kind of jumped the shark here, haven't we? Still, while I can understand that, yes, there are definitely tons of characters spread out throughout this entire movie, I did not mind it, although there is a slight nitpick to it, for characters that didn't get enough screen time. And the ones that come to mind is just Bill Murray's character. I feel like he got the least amount of screen time. Well, we mainly focused on 2, OG Ghostbuster members, which would be Winston and Ray. Mainly, specifically, Ray. As he was kind of like the MVP in here because he missed the good old days of busting some ghosts. And we do get 2 new characters in this movie. One involving glasses that I cannot remember his name. Well, another one, he was in Eternals, last I recall. Now, I did enjoy both characters, especially him in this movie, who has a backstory involving firebending, let's just say. And I did enjoy that backstory, but around the final end of the movie where he's trying to fight Gorath, which I think is the villain's name, that's probably where like some slight nitpicks came in. Like, okay, don't know how I'm feeling about how this whole thing. I guess maybe the nitpicks will probably come around the last act. I mean, I did enjoy the last act, but I could see why it's slightly a bit messy. But speaking about the villain, this may be a hot take or my personal take. I thought that Gorath was possibly the best Ghostbusters villain I've seen on screen. Because he was a straight-up menace. Even though he didn't get much around, like, the last, as he had, like, 15 minutes or something. But no, the build-up for him was pretty good. Like, he was a menace. Just a menacing villain for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And I guess this is another nitpick I have. I wish we had more of him, because he was such a good villain in here! Why does it feel like the whatever puzzle thing I come up with has a slight little nitpick attached to it? But yeah, as I said before, McKenna Grace is a talented actress, as she has done it once again for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I enjoyed her storyline they had for her in this movie. But another thing I did enjoy seeing in this movie was Paul Rudd, because again, who freaking doesn't love Paul Rudd? Also, this was a shock for me as soon as I recognized this dude's face. And I don't know why I did not notice this, because I did a trailer reaction, and he's shown in the trailer. But remember this guy that was in the first movie? Apparently he's the freaking mayor for the 4th one. Are you kidding me? I was not happy of seeing this dude again, because he's not a fan of the Ghostbusters, and once Phoebe kind of screwed up later on in the movie, he was like, oh, thank you very much, because now you've given me full control of just shutting y'all down. I'm gonna destroy the proton packs and make sure your firehouse is broken down. I don't understand why this dude is mayor, because just him throwing out the Ghostbusters, just shutting it down permanently, like, you're gonna get a bunch of angry New Yorkers, because they're the only reason they're keeping New York safe from ghosts haunting people. Well, I was shocked to see him pop up in here. I'm a bit annoyed that he's mayor, therefore I mean, definitely, he doesn't get what he wants later in the movie, but still, I couldn't believe he popped up in this movie. And there were some great Easter eggs and references here and there for this movie. Now, this doesn't rely on nostalgia bait or anything, as it did for the 3rd movie, but no, I really did enjoy Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And I did picture this too much in my head as like, okay, calm down, because I don't think it's going to happen, where I'd imagine half the movie would be taking place where the entire city is frozen, but the entire city was mainly frozen around, like, the final act. Why did I thought this? Oh, because of the posters where it looked like, oh, the Ghostbusters are going to be in New York City where it's completely freezing, but really, the 2 acts are just going to be, oh, sunny day, but then the 3rd act, it's entirely frozen. But yeah, I may have some nitpicks on some bits here and there with Frozen Empire, but I really did enjoy this movie, as I gave it a 9 out of 10 in my movie vlog. But after seeing Frozen Empire, I want more Ghostbusters movies, so when are we getting number 5? Which, I'm hoping we get number 5, because I think, last I heard, it's going to do pretty alright at the box office. But yeah, critics are being a little bit harsh with this movie, as this is like the lowest rated Ghostbusters movie on Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah, just don't listen to the critics at all. Just go and have a good time with this movie. Bring the family along. So yeah, while I'm back and forth which Ghostbusters movie is the best, whether it be the first or the third one, the fourth one may be my favorite. I don't know. That may be a hot take. Now, my opinion could change once I see this again, which I'm hoping to see again with a Ghostbusters costume. I can't guarantee it, but be sure I have notifications on in case I do get the chance to. But yeah, I had nothing to worry about going into seeing Frozen Empire because of who the director of this movie, because I'm still shocked to find out that it's the same director that directed Monster House. So yeah, I was pretty alright from there. But with that being said, I think that's all the important stuff I wanted to get out about my thoughts on all 4 Ghostbusters movies. But yeah, Frozen Empire is now playing in theaters, and here's my official ranking for all 5 Ghostbusters movies. Be sure to let me know thoughts, comments down below if you've seen Frozen Empire and which Ghostbusters movie is your favorite, and what is your total ranking for all 5 Ghostbusters films. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on Ghostbusters 1 to 4. Hopefully I'm able to upload this because this video is about 42 minutes long, so I'm a little concerned there because I may have major storage issues, so this may come bite me in the ass. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you all in the next quadruple movie review, which will probably be the Garfield movies, but as always, peace out.